We went from collecting fresh eggs every day to almost zero by late fall. But we made 2 simple changes that turned everything around, and now our egg production is nearly the same as summertime levels. And the best part? They're super cheap tips and easy to implement, and we started seeing results within days. So let me show you how.
The Ready Life, into the country.
Hey, it's Nick here with The Ready Life, where we help you become as independent as possible for basic necessities like water, food, heat, and power, and more. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to show you how to put one of these tips on autopilot where it'll take care of itself. But tip number 1 is to add extra scratch grains for your chickens in the winter. Last winter, we noticed our hens were constantly shivering. At first, we thought it was just the bitter cold, but then it hit us that their feed wasn't providing enough energy to keep them warm. Most layer feeds are well balanced, but in winter, the chickens burn extra calories to keep warm. And if they don't have enough carbs, their bodies prioritize survival over laying eggs. So we started adding scratch grains into their diet, and the difference was just amazing. Within days, we noticed no more shivering, their energy levels increased, and within days, eggs started rolling in again, and within about 2 weeks, we were up to normal summertime production. So here's our scratch grains. As you can see, it's basically made up of corn, barley, wheat, and oats. And so I'm gonna dip some out here. And we'll go give it to those birds. For our small flock, we add about 1 quart of scratch grains per day, so they can peck at it through the day. If you have a larger flock, you'll want to scale up, but just be careful to not overdo it. Too much scratch grains can lead to fat hens, which actually hurts your egg production. You see, carbs are a fat-burning energy source. Unlike protein, which takes longer to digest, carbs will give your chickens an immediate boost of warmth, which helps them to conserve their energy for laying eggs rather than just surviving. So, tip number 2 is to install a light in the coop. And if you're up in the north, you know how short the days can be and how dark the mornings can be. And they say that chickens need at least 14 hours of light. Well, we've personally found that 12 hours works for us. But the point is that by mid-November, there's days that are so short that our flock is spending more time in the coop than eating, and that hurts egg production. So we scrapped together a single light 100-watt equivalent LED bulb in our outdoor run here, not inside the coop where they sleep, but outside where their food and their water are. We turn it on at 6 a.m. and we leave it running until about 6 to 8 p.m. Since it's out in the run, they can come out here in the dark and eat whenever they want. The impact was massive. Instead of sitting inside the dark, they were out eating early in the day. They stayed more active throughout the day, and after just a few days, the egg production jumped back up. But there's something interesting. Morning light seems to matter the most. On the days when we forget to turn the light on early, egg count drops off. So if you try this, make sure to get that light on at the sunrise time that you want. The chickens, when they have more light out, more hours of light, then they have more hours that they can eat, and that means more energy to lay eggs and things like that. Unless you think this is somehow an unnatural thing that we're doing with the light, just remember that if we lived close to the equator, we would have plenty of daylight year-round. We're just supplementing for the fact that we live so far to the north. And also, we don't have the light inside the coop, so the chickens can go inside and get out of the light anytime they want. Now, how can you autopilot this step? If you want to make the tip super easy where you don't even have to remember it, you can put it on an auto timer that looks like this. And I've got a link to one in the description. And for us, a good setting would be to turn it on at, say, 3 p.m. and off at 7 p.m. and then back on in the morning at 6 a.m. and off at 9 a.m. or so. Something like that would be a good setting for us. But so far, we've been doing it the old-fashioned way and just turning the light on first thing in the morning, leaving it on all day, and then turning it off at night. Uses more power, and, it's not ideal because it's not as consistent, but it works. Just don't forget to turn it on first thing in the morning. If we don't get ours on at like 6 a.m. or so, our egg production takes a hit. So I think the auto timer is a great idea for ease of use and also for consistency. We've linked to an outdoor rated model in the description, and don't forget to use an outdoor rated receptacle too. We're planning to put something more permanent in this summer ourselves, but we've got some great options in the description. And hey, if you're into chickens, click on one of these videos with super helpful tips that could be a game changer for you. And we'll see you next time on The Ready Life.